What's up guys, my name is Tom, welcome back to another video and here back to my F1 2020 My Team Career Mode episode 29, and today is time for the Austrian Grand Prix. If you haven't watched the previous episode, the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, make sure to check that one out before you see this one. A very exciting race as always at the streets of Baku. But before jumping onto the track to the Red Bull Ring, track that I always have good memories, a track that I always enjoy to drive. But like I was saying, before jumping, we're going to buy a major upgrade that should be ready for the next episode, the British Grand Prix, and we should have hopefully another major upgrade for the engine ready for this weekend's Austrian Grand Prix. We'll see if that upgrade is going to, you know, be fitted on the car in time. And before skipping the time on our agenda, we're going to buy a minor upgrade for the aero. It is a drag reduction one, and we have another upgrade I was forgetting for the durability, the control electronics durability. The first upgrade, it is a minor one, and you could see that it is ready, but unfortunately the major upgrade for the engine that should be ready for this weekend failed, and we have to wait one more race to have that one ready. So that is really unfortunate. Austria is a track that the Red Bull Ring is a track that requires a lot of straight line speed, that has a lot of straights, and it's very unfortunate that we're not going to have that major upgrade ready. But anyway, we are doing a little invitational event on the 97 Williams driven by Jack Villeneuve, where he got his championship, so a little bit of F1 history. And it is a pursuit challenge, so what we need to do is just catch the cars that are slower than us, and we must cross the line in first place. So I know that you guys always like to hear the sound of these beautiful classic cars, so I'm going to do a favor to you that I already know that you guys want to hear the sound. Running out start we go of the 88 McLaren. It's a polystyrene, as you could see, as we are mounting that curb, and we are still going side by side. I find this car very tail happy. You know, I'm used to, you know, the F1 2020 cars. I don't drive that much with the classic cars, it's been really a while. So driving this, look how thin are the tires. So no surprise that I was struggling a lot for the grip from the rear tires. But anyway, we accomplished the challenge, we received a bunch of cash and 1k of acclaim. Talking about 1k, we are getting very close to 1k subscribers, guys, so make sure to subscribe to the channel and make sure to smash like as well if you like to watch this video. It really helps me out and really motivates me to make more. Let's engage a scenario 8 and try to get 1k subscribers ASAP. But the minor upgrade for the drag reduction is ready for this weekend, and a minor upgrade for the engine. So that is the only engine upgrade that we are going to, you know, have for this weekend. But we have a bunch of them ready for this race, so I'm expecting maybe, who knows, some good things. But I can see the performance chart, Mercedes leading the way, and we are keeping the performance distance to Alpine, and you can see that Aston Martin getting really close to Red Bull. So once again, maybe it can be a walk in the park for the Mercedes. This is a track more for the Mercedes car, but not making any that much gains in these last few episodes. But hopefully we're going to start to get closer to AlphaTauri, the lights of the AlphaTauris, the McLarens, you know, and we can start to score, aiming for more points, and hopefully Lando sooner rather than later as well. He's going to start to score points, because remember that so far this season he didn't score a single point. So I'm starting to get a little bit impatient. If you are already wondering if I'm going to fire him up, that is not going to happen. I want to keep Lando for the rest of the season because I have a lot of trust in him. But hopefully he's going to start to score some consistent points. But my patience has a limit, and if he doesn't deliver the results, I'm going to be forced to fire him at the end of the season. But anyway, we're still in the middle stage of this second season, so Lando has plenty of time to show what he is capable of. But practice 3, we went second fastest because we did the qualifying sim program, and we were just 1/10 of Valtteri Bottas. But space-wise, pace has been really good, I'm not gonna lie, so I'm expecting good things heading to this weekend. Austria is a track that I always like to, always enjoy to drive, so I think we're not going to have any problems to get out of Q1. Through the final corner we go. Make sure to eat at the apex, all the track available, open the DRS across the line, and it is a 1.3.4, and that is enough to put us so far in P4. But as we skip to the end of the session, we are in P14, so I decided not to risk and do another lap. And this is the same lap in the same set of tires, and we improved. There was some time left until we went purple on the first sector. It's a sector that we've been strong for the entirety of this weekend, and we went 8 fastest, and Lando only just made through to Q2. So here we are already in the second phase of qualifying. I think Q1 for me is already a little bit over formality. We don't struggle that much to get out. There can be some tracks where we did just 1 lap, and we don't need to do a second lap to be safe. But this lap wasn't that good. We are last of the runners, behind our teammate by just less than a tenth of a second. So you're going to join me for the entirety of this lap to see if we're going to get through to the top 10 shootout. Through the first corner we go, losing a little bit of time, but you can see how much commitment I have through the first corner. That's the reason that we are very strong on the first sector, braking really hard into turn 3, and we're already gaining 1/10 of a second. Open the DRS as the checkered flag goes out, and Verstappen at the moment in some trouble, not anymore because he goes up as well for Alexander Albon, and at the moment who's in risk is Ocon, Vettel, Matsushita, myself, and then Lando Norris. But you can see that Alexander Albon's lap wasn't very good, and he's already down into P12, so he's already out of the top 10 shootouts. So in the worst case, I think he can be P13 if we improve our time. At the moment he's looking good, 2/10 up as we go through the session of track, which I struggle the most, those S sessions, and we go through the final couple of corners of this Red Bull Ring circuit. Now the final corner, make sure to use all the track available, open the DRS, 4/10 of improvement. Will it be enough to get us through into the top 10 shootout? Yes, he's going to be with 10 faster, so we only just made it through, and we were faster, less by a tenth of a second faster than Pierre Gasly. But disaster for Alexander Albon, where is the Red Bull's home race, knocked out of Q2, and is going to start this Grand Prix in P13. His teammate Verstappen third fast, and unfortunately Lando was the last of the runners, and in the worst case he's going to start in P16 if he doesn't have any grid penalties. But anyway, we'll press onwards. We're doing a lap with the old set because we just have a new set available offered by Pirelli. Across the line it wasn't a very good lap, 3/10 away of Sergio Perez's fastest time on the Aston Martin. This weekend it seems that the Aston Martins are struggling a little bit around this track. They've been in a great shape in the last few races. You could see the pace of Sergio Perez in the last Grand Prix, and where he got his win at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. But anyway, we're doing the closing stages of our second lap. We're starting to gain a little bit, but not even a tenth of a second, just half of a tenth of seconds through the final couple of corners. Make sure to use all the track. You can see that I'm using every single centimeter of tarmac available on this Red Bull Ring circuit across the line. What is going to mean for the start of the Sunday race is going to be P10. So unfortunately we couldn't get up more positions, and we're going to start in 10th place. So hopefully this doesn't ruin our strategy, because we're going to be forced to start on the softer comparative tire. But Valtteri Bottas on pole position, so he really likes this track on the real life, and alongside him is going to be his teammates. So the Mercedes is 3/10 faster than the Red Bull, so it seems that the Silver Arrows are in another league, but you never know what can happen in a race. So without further ado, let's go to the Austrian Grand Prix.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship, except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of Turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Let me ask you about the new Racing Point driver. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and it's Lewis Hamilton alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Sainz, Charles Leclerc and Ricciardo, Stroll, Ocon, Perez and Thomas, Gasly, Fiat, Alexander Albon and Vettel, Matsushita, Norris, George Russell and Kevin Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Latifi and Nick de Vries. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Thanks Jeffrey, and welcome guys to the Austrian Grand Prix. 50% done if you want to score points in this race, starting in 10th place, and we'll see if we're going to get some positions or maybe maintain this 10th place. But anyway, strategy wise it's going to be a one stop, starting on the softs and then switch to the hard comparative tires. So a very interesting strategy. Generally I don't like to fit the white stripe tires, so we'll see how the tires go, where it's going to be out of the course of these next 36 laps for the Austrian Grand Prix. Mercedes front row lockout once again, and it slides out, and away we go. Great start against the Aston Martin of Sergio Perez. Are we going alongside as we go into turn 1, and another Aston Martin going side by side with Esteban Ocon in the McLaren, but he has to sit behind the Canadians Aston Martin, and we already moved one place. Alexander Albon already in P11, so he really wants to get a good result in his team on Grand Prix, but we're going down the inside of Esteban Ocon. Yellow flags flashing out, no surprise because everyone is going much up. But anyway, we made the move. The McLaren already gaining 2 positions in this first lap, so our streak to gain positions in the first lap continues like Giovinazzi in the real life. I don't know, I'm really good on the first laps in this game, online and offline. It doesn't seem to be the case for a lot of people, but anyway, we're going to press on. We'll see if we're going to have the pace to overtake the other Aston Martin. We'll see if the pace is not that bad, because I really want to score points in this race. We have a bunch of upgrades ready for this race, and this is a track that I really enjoy to drive, and I always get a good feel of the car. But through the final couple of corners, we're finishing the first lap using all the track available. Probably that was an exceeding track limits warning, and Valtteri Bottas leads the way by setting the fastest lap, and we're trying to get close to the back of the Canadian. But round the outside goes Sebastian Vettel way down the order on the Haas of George Russell. This might get the chance on Lando to try to go round the outside as they're going side by side. It makes the move pretty easily, doesn't need to auto braking as they go into turn 3. So let's see if Lando can put a good show during this race. But this is the train ahead of us, this is the race ahead of us, and this is for the final step of the ball. Down the inside goes Charles Leclerc, trying to get the 3rd place. It's going to be the walk in the back. The Mercedes, I can tell you already, because you don't see in this replay angle, and this is the battle for P3. So once again, it's going to be a walk in the back for the Mercedes. These two are still going side by side, and Leclerc is resisting with a pretty decent straight line speed of that Ferrari, and he's going to try to go down the inside, try to defend the position, but Verstappen gets a good run around the outside, and we were privileged. We have the McLaren of Carlos Sainz as they're still going side by side. Brilliant stuff between the two AI cars, but in the end of the day, it is Max Verstappen that maintains the final step of the podium. Wow, brilliant stuff between these two youngsters. And what about us? We are still on lap 3, going purple on the first sector, so once again showing how strong we are at the Red Bull ring, and we are still in the DRS range. I'm trying to pull away a little bit of Esteban Ocon. You can see in the MFD that Alexander Albon is not anymore in P10, he's already in P9, so sooner or later if we don't make these moves, we might be on the threat of Alexander Albon as one of the Aston Martin. It is Lance Stroll trying to go run outside of Daniel Ricciardo, but it gets a poor run, and that is going to allow us to try to make a move on the Aston Martin, open the DRS, and we are side by side and try to get a little bit of a slipstream of the Alpine, but he's going to outbrake us massively and try to convert this defense into an overtaking attempt on Daniel Ricciardo as they're going still side by side. But finally I managed to shut the door, but Stroll is going to drive down inside. He has a pretty good straight line speed thanks to that Mercedes power, and we're still going at it. But thankfully at the end of the day we made the move as Stroll might come back, because look at the slingshot that he had at the exit of that corner. But finally we are up into P7, and what we need to do now is try to catch the Alpine of Daniel Ricciardo. But we've gone really deep into the final call because I stepped too much on the sausage curb, and Stroll is going to come back for more as we go into turn 1. Who's going to break the late? It seems that it's going to be Stroll, and he brake checkers a little bit because he ran a little bit deep, and that resulted in a very bad run, and that is going to allow Alexander Albon to go side by side, open the DRS. I'm going to try to regain this position as a look at the overspeed that we have, and let's try to outbrake Lance Stroll. Are we going to have a decent traction? Yes, we do, and we're going to once again have the DRS. Stroll doesn't have any defense, and with all of this, Ricciardo is pulling away and he's already 1.8 seconds ahead of us. But what brilliant stuff between me, Alexander Albon, and Lance Stroll, and maybe Stroll might come back because in terms of that traction zone we are not pretty good comparing with the eye, but thankfully we managed to keep that position, and this is the lead of the race. Valtteri Bottas is on the league of his own, Hamilton is on the league of his own, so it's been a pretty boring race for the Silver Hours as per usual, you know, but you know what, I can't complain that much because we had an Aston Martin and a McLaren winning races during this season, remember, at the Dutch Grand Prix and the Monaco Grand Prix, but we went a little bit deep, stepping on the grass, and we lost a bit the back end, and that is going to allow maybe Lance Stroll to try to make another move on us. I was pulling away so decently off the Aston Martin, but we threw all away with a mistake, and down inside goes Alexander Albon, and we're going to try now to hold around as we go through the final corner, and Stroll is pulling away massively because we're going side by side. We're battling with this Red Bull, and he's pretty good on the straight line, it seems, thanks to that on the power, as I'm trying to defend it, but going defensive into the first corner, extending a little bit the track limits, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm trying to give everything, but it was a stupid mistake for me, and I can tell already that I'm starting to struggle a little bit with the tire wear, but yeah, I need to push. I was trying to catch Ricciardo as soon as I can, and I pushed too much, and I was asking too much for the front tires, but anyway, we're going to pit on lap 12, you can see, and we're going to try to regain this position on Lance Stroll. It seems that now it is struggling as well for tires. DRS open, slipstream, overtake mode, and we actually running out a little bit of ERS, so we need to watch that as we're going to run the outside through turn 3, stepping a little bit on the curb, but thankfully we have enough traction to get ahead of the Aston Martin, and we are in P6 at the moment, but I think one of them is already made is stop as we are using all the traps standing on the grass on the pit entry, but here we go, we're going to dress a brand new set of hard tires. I think some guys are going to the mediums, but I don't know if they're going to be in a one stop, in a two stop. For us, it's definitely going to be a one stop because we're going to fit the white striped tires. There you go. But talking about this first stint, it was pretty good. Maybe I could have nursed a little bit better the tires, but anyway, Daniel Ricciardo, you can see that is ahead of us. It is on the soft comparator tire, so definitely it is in the two stop because he just used hard tires during this Grand Prix, and this is our teammate Lando Norris making a stop one lap later, and he's going to fit the harder comparative tires, so we are in the same boat. So we'll see if the one stop it is the way to go. It is going to be the two stop. It is going to depend on these guys, and there is the man himself, Daniel Ricciardo, on the softer comparative tires. You can see that Charles Leclerc and Max Verstappen are on the medium tires, so it is a little bit of an unknown because I don't know if this guy's going with the two or the one stop. But I think with my experience around this track, I think the one stop it is the way to go. But anyway, we are ahead of Sergio Perez and Pierre Gasly, and Perez it is on the medium comparative tires, Gasly is on the hards, as some guys are still pitting. You can see the Red Bull of Alexander Albon, and it is on the medium comparative tires, so I really hope that these guys are on a two stop because we're going to be in a lot of trouble because we are in a slower tire. This car at the moment is showing to not be as fast as the Red Bull, definitely, and not as fast as the Aston Martin. What is saving me at the moment, it is the DRS and the slipstream and the huge straight around this track, and you can see that I'm struggling a little bit. Albon trying to stick the nose, and he actually might make this move work through the twisty section of the second sector, the section of the track where I struggle the most at the Red Bull ring, but I don't know why, I don't know how, but somehow we managed to keep this position and keep Alexander Albon behind. But what I need to do to hope now is that these two guys may two stop, and if they don't two, hopefully the medium tires are going to have a huge drop and we can sail home and get P7. Ricciardo, I think we might finish ahead of him because we're just 7 seconds away, and it's going to look like 22 seconds on the pit stop, so I think it's going to be very easy to finish ahead of him, showing that the two stop it seems like the two stop is not the way to go. But down inside goes the Red Bull of Alex Albon, but he didn't have the enough room, you know, to make that move. It was pretty late, so was just leaving a little bit of room. But Albon showing to be really base at the moment as we're skipping lap after lap after lap, because I'm actually managing pretty well the ERS and the fuel, and I'm just using on the straight, and that is allowing me to keep ahead for the time being of the Red Bull and of Sergio Perez, and maybe the other racing point of Lance Stroll, which dropped behind his teammates. And I'm starting to form a little bit of the train and joining to the party now, and the sky is starting to get a little bit gloomy, but don't worry, rain is going to come out in around 15 minutes, so that is not going to affect, and it's going to be a dry weather for the rest of this race. But Albon is showing pretty pacey in these closing stages of the Grand Prix, and you can see that we're already in P6 because we are ahead of Daniel Ricciardo. Ricciardo is not going to score points in this race as we go through the final corner, and we're going to start the final lap, doing personal best as I'm trying to push as hard as I can, try to break the DRS window, but it is not enough. These mediums are working an absolute treat, and Albon is really close, and he's going to have DRS in this last lap of the Austrian Grand Prix, so we must keep everything, but we're running out of DRS, and here comes Alexander Albon with everything. Look at the speed of that underpowered Red Bull, and we're going to try to defend down the inside, and we're squeezing so aggressively to force him onto the curbs, but I think it is enough to finish ahead of the Red Bull. The mediums work an absolute treat, and I think we should have fitted the mediums instead of the hard tires, and you can see that I'm forming a huge train. You can see in the minimap Ricciardo joining to this huge train because I'm struggling at the moment, and Albon is going to try to make the move, and there he goes, dive down inside, try to get this 7th place in his home race for Red Bull. He is giving everything, but we're going to shut the door very aggressively. Valtteri Bottas wins the Grand Prix, and he's going to extend his championship lead against his teammate Lewis Hamilton, but for us, he's going to be a very sweaty 6th place, a very deserved 6th place. I don't know how we managed to keep this position on the harder comparative tire, and we kept the Red Bull, but this was a very sweaty race without a doubt. Woo!
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. And talk to me, what do you think it was that sealed the win for them?
I feel like consistency was probably the key today. There's being quick, and then there's being quick lap after lap after lap. If you can do that, you can capitalise on other people's errors without making many of your own. And that's an approach that can push you a long way up the field.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
And there you go, Bottas really loves this track. He wins in the real life, he wins around here in the game, you know, but Mercedes once again showing their supremacy in this career mode as well in the real life, so pretty realistic game. But anyway, you might expect now the race results, but what happened is that the game crashed. The game crashed, and I was supposed to do this race all over again. I was having none of it. You were seeing that I was recording the replay, and the game decided to break and then crashed. And when I turned on once again the game, it didn't save the race. So this fantastic defend that we did for 6th place was worth nothing because the game didn't save anything. Thank you, Codemasters. I did a brilliant race and you had to ruin it. So what I did is that I was not having none of it. I decided to try to simulate a session, but you can't simulate a session when you're in the race. You only can do this when you're in the garage. So I think that doesn't make any sense. But anyway, it was a DNF for us, 0 points, but I did a favor to Aston Martin, as you can see, because Perez got the final step over the podium. But anyway, yeah, I'm gutted, I'm a little bit pissed, but move on to the next episode, which it is the British Grand Prix, guys. That has been episode 29 of my F1 2020 My Team Career Mode. Make sure to smash like, scratch F duty, plating more Formula 1 content. It really motivates me more as we climb our way onto the 1K subscribers. So let's try to activate the scenario 8 and get that ASAP. But for me, is everything, and I'll see you guys for a brand new video next time. But for now, it's goodbye, take care.